Welcome to The War from Boise, Idaho. This is your host, Adam Graham. Well, we brought you most of the great radio comedy teams. Lum and Abner, Amos and Andy, Burns and Allen, Abbott and Costello. But here's one we haven't brought you until now. Jimmy Durante and Garry Moore. The two were first paired by Camel cigarettes in 1943 for the Camel Caravan show. This was not by any means a natural pairing. This was something the network had directed. And unlike most things the networks direct, this actually turned out well. Well, initially, they were a little unsure of each other, particularly Moore, who was only 28 at the time, and wondered, about being paired with 50-year-old Jimmy Durante. But Durante's warmth and personality, the type of person he was, both on and off mic, really made the relationship work. And they were a very popular team during their 4 years together from 1943 to 1947. And there are still tributes in other parts of pop culture. If, as I did, you grew up watching Hanna-Barbera cartoons, you'll remember Augie Doggie and Son, with Augie Doggie having voice reminiscent of Jimmy Durante, and him referring to his son as Junior, which, as we can see, is something that the writers picked up from this show. This program was a war bond rally that aired for Rexall Drugs, their new sponsor. It was original air date June the 15th of 1945. So here now is Jimmy Durante and Garry Moore.
Garry Moore speaking.
Hello, Junior. This is Jimmy.
Jimmy Durante, where are you?
I can't get down to the Bond show. I was at the beach and three girls buried me in the sand.
Well, so what?
So come and get me. I forgot where they buried me.
From the Fox Beverly Theater for the mighty 7th War Loan, your Rexall Drugstore presents Jimmy Durante and Garry Moore. Of 1,500 people, all of whom bought a bond for their admission, it's Jimmy Durante, Garry Moore, Jerry Sullivan, Roy Boggy and his orchestra, and yours truly, Howard Petrie, brought to you by your friendly Rexall Drugstore. Rexall, an old familiar name that has always stood for quality and value. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as co-star of the 7th War Loan Rally, we bring you a young man whose brain is just like a war bond. In another 10 years, it'll mature, too. And here he is, Garry Moore.
Well, thank you very much, my friends, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Delighted to be with you, and especially delighted to see so many bond buyers here in our theater audience tonight. And to start things off in a proper mood, friends, I'd like to ask everyone who has come here to our theater tonight to please rise to their feet. Will everybody please stand up all together, please? If you will, up in the balcony, too. Thank you. Now, will you please push back your seats? Push your seats up, if you will you? Push your seats up. Now, just stand aside and let me look there for a minute. Oh, that's wonderful.
Well, Garry, what are you looking at?
Howard, just look under those seats. Look under those seats. That's the first chewing gum I've seen in 4 years. But all kidding aside, Howard, it is a thrill to think of someday my pictures may be showing in this very theater.
Your pictures? Well, Garry, you haven't made any.
Well, not yet, no. But just this morning I went out to MGM to have a fitting for my first screen work.
You did?
Yeah, and believe me, that's hard work, fitting screens. Very tough, but you know, Howard, after our broadcast, they're going to show a special movie preview in this theater.
Oh, there you are, Mr. Moore, you delightful creature.
So that's the preview tonight. Frankenstein takes a bride.
Now, listen, Mr. Moore, I'm even lucky to be here. Why, I just got here with the skin of my teeth.
Your teeth? Well, in the words of Winston Churchill, never have so many owed so much to so few. Tell me, Mrs. Weatherford, why didn't your husband Wilbur come with you tonight?
Oh, he couldn't, poor boy. He's working down at the blood bank.
Huh?
He sits there all day under a big sign.
Well, what does the sign say?
It says, if you look like this, don't bother.
Well, I'm glad you're here anyhow. Now, why don't you go take a seat out in front for the rest of the show, huh?
Oh, my. It's so wonderful being in a movie theater.
Yeah.
I keep hoping to meet my dream man, someone like Ronald Colman. And the minute I meet him, he'll sweep me in his arms and kiss me and kiss me and kiss me. Oh, boy, I'm cooking with gas.
You're not only cooking with it, you're inhaling it. So, Mrs. Wurtelberg, and back to the audience, we can concentrate on stage center and the one and only Jimmy Durante in person.
Got off each day with a pop. Now even when things go wrong, why you better, you even look better. Blue sky, smile, and that's me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. The foregoing is a paid political announcement by the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. Skies smiling at me.
Sure, Jimmy, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you really should let me do the singing on this show. Why, your voice is nothing more than gastritis in tempo.
Junior, I'm sorry you said that, because I've heard you sing, and believe me, for your voice, Beethoven wouldn't give a beat, Wagner wouldn't give a wag, and damn Rush, he wouldn't like it either. But on second thought, maybe you're right. Neither my voice nor my health has been up to par lately.
Well, then why don't you go see a doctor?
I did. I saw Dr. Balan, one flight up out of the high rent district. And what an examination he gave me. He looked at my nose and said, inhale.
And what happened?
I don't know. We haven't seen the doctor since. If I wasn't tired, I'd have got the nurse, too. So, giving myself a quick diagnosis,
Yeah?
I said to myself, Durante, you're tired. Why don't you take off some time and spend a quiet day at the beach?
I see. You said to yourself, Durante, you're tired. Why don't you take off some time and spend a quiet day at the beach?
Mr. Moore, you remind me of a parrot I once slugged on Meatless Tuesday. To continue, I went to Pismo Beach, which is near San Bedou. And having an eye for culture, I selected a spot near some beautiful girl.
Oh, Jimmy, the girls are really wearing scanty bathing suits this year, aren't they?
Yes, scanty and skimpy, too. While I was playing in the sand, not looking for any trouble, I happened to pick up a loose thread.
And what happened?
Before I knew it, I unraveled 3 blondes. Me, who can't even crochet.
That relaxing is all right, but it's the swimming that puts the hustle in your muscle.
I was just coming to that, Garrison. You should have seen the classy new bathing suit I wore. I was the envy of the beach.
You were?
I had pearl buttons on the sleeves.
Pearl buttons on the sleeves. Jimmy, that's no bathing suit. You were wearing a long suit of underwear.
I was? No wonder I trapped so many fish in my back pocket. But going from the reed to the ridiculous,
Yes?
I jumped into the water with a tail tied to my bathing suit. You see, I was doing the dog paddle. And what happened? I find myself face to face with a great big swordfish.
Well, gee whiz, what happened?
Just as he was about to attack me, he took one look at my schnozzle and said, I quit. You've got a superior weapon. I was so mad I bit his tail off.
Well, aside from the swordfish, did you run into any other interesting people? Any, shall we say, pulchritudinous femininity?
No, nothing but girls. A few yards down the beach, a bunch of bathing beauties were practicing a water ballet. What designs they made. First a daisy, then a star. And finally those beautiful girls made a human wheel, complete with spokes. And boy, did I have fun with that wheel.
Really?
Yeah, shake hands with Durante the hubcap. Lucky Jilly. Lucky Jilly. But I soon tired of sashaying La Femmes and decided it was high time to take my sun bath.
Well, I suppose you took all the necessary precautions against overexposure of the epidermis to the sun?
You can certainly make a simple question sound classy. Irregardless, I looked up and the sun is shining. I'm ready for my sun bath. I takes off my cap, I puts on my sunglasses. I takes off my robe, I puts on the olive oil, which I squeezed by hand, and lies down. No sooner than I'm flat on my back when along comes a cloud. No sun. It's spike work in the stratosphere. So I gets up, I takes off the oil, I puts on my robe, I takes off my glasses, so I puts on my cap at a saucy angle, and what happens? The cloud moves away and out comes old Sal again. What a small world. So once more I takes off my cap, I puts on my sunglasses, I takes off my robe, I puts on the olive oil, which I squeezed by hand, and lies down. Tragedy strikes again. Along comes another cloud and again no sun. I'm beginning to feel like Eddie Tanner. So once again I take off the olive oil. I puts puts on my robe, I takes off my sunglasses, and I puts on my cap. I'm just about to give up when finally the clouds disappear and the sky is clear. So once again, I takes off my cap, I puts on my sunglasses, I takes off my robe, I puts on the olive oil, which I squeezed with my bare hands, and lies down. But, Junior, it's no use. I still didn't get a sunburn.
Well, why not?
By this time, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Now you know that it's been so long. Why you sit down like a snake with a song?
Oh, thank you very much, Jimmy. Roy Bargy and the orchestra now in a mighty seventh arrangement of Strike Up the Band.
What an orchestra, and what a job that Bargy's got. Such steady work.
Oh, what do you mean, Jimmy?
In the winter, he uses his baton to lead a band, and in the summer, he sticks a nail on the end of it and picks up papers in the park. Tell us, dear Junior, what's in the Culture Corner tonight?
Well, Jimmy, in the past, I've given many lectures of a musical nature, you know. For lovers of the brass section, I once wrote a book entitled, You Can Play the Trombone If You Practice a Lot, But You Can't Just Let It Slide. Tonight, James, I should like to pay tribute to that most beautiful of all instruments, the human voice.
Go ahead with your lecture. I shall listen with my ear trumpet, but I won't really give a hoot.
Thank you. Tonight, music lovers, we shall speak of one particular type of singing, the male quartet, and the man who invented it, Fiber Snide J. Forberwinder. Let us go back to the year 1814 and the small village of Weasel, Wyoming, which is a suburb of the large town of Goza. Fiber Snide Forberwinder was the leader of the village symphony orchestra, perhaps better known as Fiber Snide Forberwinder and his photo-finish Philharmonic. But there was just one thing he didn't like about his job. It was the concerts he had to conduct each year featuring the town's leading soprano, Miss Letitia Cronksquatchet. But during the concert of July 15th, things came to a climax. Miss Cronksquatchet started to sing. I've never heard anything like that since my sister backed into an ice pick. I couldn't standing one moment longer. And throwing down his stick, Forberwinder jumped from his podium and ran for the wings. But so great was his haste that he stepped right on the feet of 4 men in the violin section. And the poor men howled in agony. Oh! Why, it was beautiful. Not one voice, but four voices joined together in harmony. And hardly thinking, Forberwinder turned around and ran back over their feet in the opposite direction. Magnificent. And historical, too, for thus the first male quartet was formed. Oh, and what a quartet it was. The men would sit four in a row on the stage with their bare feet in front of them as Forberwinder dashed madly back and forth in his hobnailed boots, stamping on the foot of the man whose voice he needed next. And it sounded like this. Sensation. And after 300 concerts in the art centers of the world, the National Association of Chiropodists examined their feet and proclaimed them America's corniest quartet. But then, my friends, it's often been said that even the best of ideas can be used too often. 1 year later, it happened to Forberwinder in Carnegie Hall. They were singing their own theme song entitled, Was It Malice, Alice, When You Trod Upon My Callus? And in this song, the second tenor was required to hit high C above big toe. So to get this effect, Forberwinder was forced to stamp even harder on the second tenor's foot than ever before. And when he did... the second tenor's arches collapsed and the quartet was forced to break up. For after all, who can sing with a second tenor who is always flat? Yes, it was a catastrophe. The people booed, the music critics sneered, and Leopold Stokowski went west and married Gloria Vanderbilt. But then, at least the idea of harmony had been born, and it grew by leaps and bounds. And today, my friends, when you've got four people, that's a quartet. And when you've got 6 people, that's a sextet. And when you've got 8 people, that's an octet. And when you've got 100 people, yeah, that's a cigarette line. Mighty stirring music is on tap now, with the words to be sung by a very stirring young lady. In other words, the queen of our charm department, Miss Jerry Sullivan. Jerry Sullivan sings.
Here comes number 7, so buy a bun to buy a chunk of Uncle Sammy's magic wand. Get on the barn wagon when you hear them yell out, come out, wherever you are. Come out of your shell and shell out. Here comes number 7, so lend your jack to bring your Jack and Joe and Jim and Johnny back. So make sure at the first dance you fall the barn away, 'cause here comes number 7 today. Trip that anybody can afford. Here's the 75 special. That's the price that anybody can afford. Get on the barn wagon when you hear them yell out, come out, wherever you are. Come out of your shell and shell out. Here comes number 7, so lend your jack to bring your Jack and Joe and Jim and Johnny back. So make sure at the first chance you fall the bond away, 'cause here comes number 7. Buy an extra wallboard today.
Thank you, Jerry. Jerry Sullivan is the name, ladies and gentlemen. Remember it.
Rexall Falls Wig and Bustle Club brings you a stirring detective drama. Entitled
The Case of the Missing Ring, or Who Washed Out the Bathtub.
Well, Junior, I've always...
Oh, Mr. Durante, if it isn't you, if it isn't you, if it isn't you.
Well, lady, if it isn't, you've certainly made a fool of yourself.
Oh, I'm so happy that I found you and Mr. Moore here. I am Mrs. Ipswich Van Middleditch, the second.
You're the second. That first one must have been abuse.
Gentlemen, I am giving a lawn party at my home to my society friends, and I'd like you to attend and sell war bonds.
Charm, to be sure. You see, I'm one of the 399.
399? Mr. Durante, you mean 400.
No, we blackballed Reggie Asterbilt. Caught the bounder cheating at badminton.
Cheating at badminton, Jimmy, but how?
Loaded feathers in his shuttlecock.
Mr. Durante, if you and Mr. Moore will write a song about me and sing it at my party, I'll buy a $50,000 bond.
$50,000? Why, that runs into the hundreds.
Now, I'll tell you what, that's a deal, Mrs. Van Middleditch.
Wonderful. Good day.
Come on, Jimmy, let's be off to Mrs. Ipswich Van Middleditch is the second.
Yes, let's be off to Mrs. Ipswich. What you just said, the second. Well, Junior, here we are. Boy, this sure is a swanky place.
I'll say it is. You know, she entertains a lot of Hollywood people here. Right now, Johnny Weissmuller is her house guest. He's living up in a tree.
That's natural. But doesn't he get lonely up in the tree?
Lassie lives downstairs.
Oh, yes. Well, we're just in time. The guests are starting to arrive.
Announcing the arrival of Mr. and Mrs. Peter Van Swiegen the second, Mr. and Mrs. Cheviot Hutchinson the fourth, Mr. and Mrs. Jasper Whitehall the third.
Let's get out of here, Junior. There ain't no winner in the joint.
No, Jimmy. Let's stay and mingle with the debutantes. If I can just find a beautiful blonde society girl, I'll introduce myself to her like a true blue blood. Then I'll kiss her hand, Jimmy, like a true blue blood. Then I'll take her out on the terrace like a true blue blood, and then I'll take her in my arms like a true blue blood, and then I'll...
Yes?
Plasma, Jimmy, more plasma.
Yes, Junior, you got something right there. Junior, I'm glad to see that you're at home with society people, too.
Oh, yes, and while I think of it, Jimmy, when it comes time to eat, you'd better watch me so you don't make any mistakes.
All right.
For instance, whenever I eat a sandwich, I always break it in two and hold it with my fingers.
Oh, and coot. I always fold mine in 4 parts and then stuff it in my mouth.
Mr. Durante and Mr. Moore, how nice. But why did you come alone? I thought you two were married.
Oh, no, we're just awfully good friends.
Oh, isn't he clever? And I'm so anxious to hear the song you've written about me. Have you finished it?
Oh, yes. If you'll just write a check for that $50,000 bond, we'll sing it for you.
Oh, wonderful. Friends, gather round. Mr. Durante and Mr. Moore are going to sing a song about someone you know. And when you hear the very flattering lyrics, I'm sure you'll guess just who it is. And Mr. Durante will play the piano.
I could have went further, but there ain't enough notes.
And Mr. Moore will accompany on the drums. Yes. Now, gentlemen, come in.
What's the matter? Mr. Moore, you're supposed to follow the tune, not chase it all over the joint. Start again, Mr. Moore.
Now what's the matter?
Junior, I've asked you not to interrupt me while I'm getting sent.
Jimmy, I hate to say this, but you were not only getting sent, you were giving off one.
Life would be in danger if this was a portable piano.
Please, gentlemen, please let me hear the song you wrote for me.
Very well, we shall begin. Allegretto. She doesn't like a shady joke. She doesn't hike. She doesn't smoke.
Oh, is this delightful?
He doesn't swear. She never flirts. She doesn't wear those skimpy skirts.
Oh, I love this
He
man.
doesn't dance. She never sings. To her romance don't mean a thing.
Don't be too sure.
He doesn't use those beauty stamps, but will refuse to show her care.
What?
You ask her name. Well, that's a wow. I'm not singing about you. I'm singing about a cow.
Well, Mrs. Van Everett, there's the song we wrote for your $50,000 bond. What do you think of it?
What do I think of it? Play that music again, and I'll tell you what I think of it.
This could lead to a fractured T-ball.
Oh, Mr. Moore.
I'm listening, ma'am.
Mr. D.
She must mean me.
I heard the song you wrote for me.
Well, then tell us more.
The music drank.
Oh, say not so.
The lyrics squeak.
You said creek?
Yes, and the whole darn song just reeks. Well, I'll buy that bond.
You buy the bond.
For understand.
You heard it, Sam.
But as for you, for one,
Yeah.
grand.
Jimmy and Garry will be back in just a moment.
Say now, who will be with you when we're far away? When we're... Let me hear the high note, maestro. What a note.
A delectable note, Mr. Durante.
A delightful note, Mr. Moore. I guess this winds up our bond rally.
On the air, yes. And first of all, before we do anything, we certainly want to thank everybody for coming down and thank Mr. Louis Grimm, the manager of the theater, for his cooperation. And remember, as soon as this program ends, they're showing a special preview of the screen on the screen here of a new picture starring Lana Turner.
Lana Turner? There's good news tonight. You know, Junior,
Yeah?
I saw that picture out at the studio, and it's very unusual. When the picture comes on the screen, Lana Turner has her back to the audience.
Her back to the audience. See you later, Jimmy.
Where you going, Junior?
Round the other side of the screen.
That's my boy who said that.
Good night, Mr. Durante.
Good night, Mr.
Good
Moore.
night, everybody.
Good night, folks. Good night, Pat.
We'll be looking for you next Friday night, same time, same station, when we'll be back with another Jimmy Durante, Garry Moore show for your Rexall drugstores. In the meantime, visit the friendly Rexall druggist who brings you these programs. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the Rexall name. In drugs, if it's Rexall, it's right. Tune in again next Friday night for Roy Bargy and his orchestra, Jerry Sullivan, yours truly, Howard Petrie,
And Jimmy Durante.
and Garry Moore.
In person.
This program is directed by Bill Cohan. This is CBS.
That will do it for today. If you have a comment, email me, box13@greatdetectives.net. I welcome your story or that of loved ones who served during World War II. Ken Curlin provides our opening theme music, kencurlin.com. I am your host, Adam Graham. This series is provided as a service of the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio, greatdetectives.net.